Calvin Broadus Jr., better known to the world as Snoop Dogg, was born on October 20th, 1971, in Long Beach, California. From the moment he entered the world, it was clear that Snoop's life was going to be anything but ordinary. Growing up in a rough neighborhood in Long Beach, Snoop's early years were marked by the kind of challenges that many young black men faced in the 1970s and 80s. Poverty, violence, and the constant lure of gang life. Yet within this chaotic environment, Snoop found solace in two places: music and the church. Snoop's mother, Beverly Tate, was a deeply religious woman who made sure that her son was exposed to the church from a young age. Sundays were dedicated to gospel music, and Snoop would often sing in the church choir. These early experiences not only instilled in him a love for music, but also introduced him to the power of performance and the importance of rhythm and melody. However, while gospel music brought peace to his young soul, the sounds that truly captivated Snoop came from his father's record collection: funk, soul, and the emerging genre of hip-hop. Artists like James Brown, Marvin Gaye, and later Curtis Blow became the soundtrack to his youth, planting the seeds for his future career. As Snoop grew older, the temptations of the streets became harder to resist. By the time he was a teenager, he was deeply involved in gang activity, running with the Rollin' 20s Crips, one of the most notorious gangs in Long Beach. The allure of the gang life was strong: fast money, respect, and a sense of belonging in a world that often felt hostile. But even as Snoop became more entrenched in the gang culture, his love for music never waned. He began rapping at a young age, using his smooth, laid-back delivery to stand out among his peers. It wasn't long before his talent caught the attention of those around him. In the late 1980s, Snoop began recording homemade tapes with his cousin Nate Dogg and their friend Warren G. Together, they formed a group called 213, named after the area code of Long Beach. The trio would rap over beats they made themselves, blending the gritty reality of their lives with the smooth, melodic sounds they had grown up on. These early recordings were raw, unpolished, and filled with the kind of authenticity that would later define West Coast hip-hop. Word of Snoop's talent began to spread, and soon his tapes were circulating around the local scene, eventually landing in the hands of a producer who would change his life forever. That producer was Dr. Dre, a former member of the groundbreaking group NWA, who was looking to establish himself as a solo artist. Dre was working on his debut album, The Chronic, and was searching for fresh talent to feature on the project. When he heard Snoop's voice, he knew he had found something special. Snoop's distinctive style, a mix of effortless cool, smooth delivery and streetwise lyrics, was unlike anything else at the time. Dre wasted no time in bringing Snoop into the studio, and together they began crafting the songs that would introduce the world to a new voice in hip-hop. But Snoop's rise to fame wasn't just about his undeniable talent. It was also about timing. In the early 1990s, the West Coast was emerging as a dominant force in hip-hop, with artists like Ice-T, NWA, and 2 Dollar leading the charge. Snoop's arrival on the scene, with his unique blend of gangsta rap and laid-back charisma, was perfectly timed to capture the imagination of a generation hungry for something new. His early recordings with Dr. Dre, including tracks like Deep Cover and Nothin' But a G-Thang, became instant classics, introducing Snoop's smooth, drawling voice to millions of listeners. As Snoop's star began to rise, so too did the stakes. The world of hip-hop was fiercely competitive, and the pressure to succeed was immense. But Snoop was no stranger to pressure. He had grown up in one of the toughest neighborhoods in America, had navigated the dangers of gang life, and had come out the other side with his dreams intact. Now, with the world watching, he was ready to take the next step in his journey, one that would make him a household name and a legend in the making. Snoop Dogg's life took a dramatic turn when Dr. Dre, one of the most influential figures in hip-hop, came across a mixtape featuring Snoop's unique voice and style. At the time, Dre was searching for fresh talent to contribute to his solo debut album, The Chronic. His goal was to create a new sound that would define West Coast rap, and when he heard Snoop's smooth, effortless delivery, he knew he had found the missing piece of the puzzle. Dre reached out to Snoop, and soon, the young rapper found himself in the studio, working alongside one of the biggest names in the industry. The collaboration between Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre was electric from the start. Snoop's laid-back flow perfectly complemented Dre's slick, funk-infused production. Together, they crafted a sound that was both innovative and deeply rooted in the realities of life in South-Central Los Angeles. The first major release to showcase this new partnership was the track Deep Cover, which appeared on the soundtrack of the 1992 film of the same name. The song quickly became a hit, establishing Snoop as a rising star and setting the stage for what was to come. But it was The Chronic, released in December 1992, that truly catapulted Snoop Dogg into the limelight. Snoop was featured prominently on the album, contributing to several tracks, including the iconic Nothing But a G-Thang, Let Me Ride, and Lil Ghetto Boy. His smooth delivery, combined with Dre's masterful production, created a sound that was both infectious and groundbreaking. The Chronic wasn't just an album, it was a cultural phenomenon. It introduced the world to G-Funk, a subgenre of hip-hop characterized by its heavy use of funk samples, slow, rolling bass lines, and melodic synthesizers. And at the center of it all was Snoop Dogg, whose relaxed conversational style became the voice of a generation. Riding the wave of success from The Chronic, Snoop quickly got to work on his debut solo album, Doggy Style. The anticipation for the album was immense, with fans and critics alike eager to see what Snoop would deliver. When Doggy Style was finally released in November 1993, it didn't just meet expectations, it shattered them. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling over 800,000 copies in its first week. This was the biggest first-week sales for a debut album in history at the time, a testament to Snoop's growing influence and the hunger for his brand of West Coast hip-hop. Doggy Style was a masterpiece, blending Snoop's smooth vocals with Dre's polished production to create an album that was both sonically rich and lyrically sharp. Tracks like Gin and Juice, Who Am I, What's My Name, and Murder Was the Case became instant classics, dominating radio airwaves and solidifying Snoop's status as one of hip-hop's brightest stars. The album's success was not just due to its catchy beats and memorable hooks, but also to Snoop's ability to tell stories that resonated with listeners. His lyrics painted vivid pictures of life on the streets of Long Beach, filled with parties, danger, and the ever-present specter of violence. Yet, even in the midst of these gritty narratives, there was a sense of fun and playfulness that set Snoop apart from his peers. The success of Doggy Style brought Snoop Dogg to the forefront of the music industry. He became a household name, his image synonymous with the West Coast rap movement. His laid-back persona, coupled with his penchant for marijuana and his love of the party lifestyle, made him an icon not just in music, but in popular culture. Snoop's influence extended beyond hip-hop, as he began to appear in movies, commercials, and television shows, further cementing his status as a cultural figure. But with success came scrutiny, and Snoop Dogg's rise to fame wasn't without its challenges. The lyrics of Doggy Style were controversial, drawing criticism for their explicit content and depiction of violence and misogyny. Snoop, however, was unapologetic, insisting that his music was a reflection of his reality, a mirror held up to the life he had lived and the world he knew. This authenticity, even in the face of criticism, only added to Snoop's appeal. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a voice for a generation of young black men who saw their own experiences reflected in his music. As the success of Doggy Style continued to grow, so did Snoop's influence on the hip-hop scene. He became a mentor to younger artists, helping to shape the sound of West Coast rap for years to come. His collaboration with Dr. Dre proved to be one of the most successful partnerships in music history, producing a string of hits that would go on to define an era. Snoop Dogg had arrived, and he was here to stay. But with fame came challenges, both personal and professional, that would test Snoop's resolve and force him to navigate a world that was often as dangerous as the streets he had left behind. The next phase of his journey would see him face legal battles, media scrutiny, and the pressure to maintain his success in an industry that was constantly evolving. At the peak of his rising stardom, Snoop Dogg found himself facing one of the most challenging periods of his life. Just as his debut album Doggy Style was dominating the charts and his name was on everyone's lips, Snoop was thrust into the center of a legal storm that threatened to end his career before it had truly begun. In August 1993, Snoop Dogg, along with his bodyguard McKinley Lee, was arrested in connection with the shooting death of Philip Woldemariam, a member of a rival gang in Los Angeles. The incident occurred just a few blocks from Snoop's apartment in the Palms neighborhood of West Los Angeles. The prosecution claimed that Snoop and Lee were involved in the killing, which they argued was premeditated. The case quickly became a media sensation, with Snoop's image plastered across newspapers and TV screens, as he was portrayed as both a gangsta rap icon and a symbol of the growing influence of rap music in mainstream culture. The murder trial, which began in 1995, placed Snoop Dogg's career on hold and cast a shadow over his meteoric rise. For the better part of 2 years, Snoop faced the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. The media frenzy surrounding the trial was intense, with journalists and cameras following Snoop's every move, turning the courtroom into a spectacle. The trial wasn't just about the events of that fateful day. It became a referendum on gangsta rap itself. Critics of the genre saw the trial as evidence of the violent and destructive influence they believed rap music had on young people, particularly young black men. Snoop Dogg, who had always maintained his innocence, became a reluctant spokesperson for the genre during this time. His legal team argued that he had acted in self-defense, that the incident was not a premeditated murder, but rather a tragic result of a dangerous lifestyle that Snoop had been trying to leave behind. The trial revealed the complexities of Snoop's life, the balance between his past affiliations with gangs and his newfound success as a rap superstar. It also highlighted the fine line he walked between his public persona and his private struggles. Throughout the trial, Snoop continued to work on his music, determined not to let the legal battle define his career. In 1996, he released his second studio album, The Dogfather. However, the album was released under a cloud of uncertainty, as fans and the industry alike wondered what would become of Snoop if he were convicted. The Dogfather was a departure from the G-Funk sound that had defined Doggy Style. The album reflected Snoop's growing disillusionment with the violent lifestyle that had once been a central part of his identity. Tracks like Snoop's Upside Ya Head and Vapors showcased a more introspective side of the artist, while still maintaining the smooth, laid-back delivery that had made him famous. Despite the album's success, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and was eventually certified double platinum. It did not reach the same heights as Doggy Style. Some critics attributed this to the heavy legal troubles hanging over Snoop's head, while others noted the shift in tone and style as contributing factors. Nevertheless, The Dogfather was an important chapter in Snoop's evolution as an artist, showing his ability to adapt and grow even in the face of overwhelming adversity. As the trial dragged on, Snoop's public image became increasingly complex. On one hand, he was a successful artist with a dedicated fan base. On the other, he was a man accused of murder, facing the possibility of a life sentence. The tension between these two realities weighed heavily on Snoop, who found himself struggling to navigate the expectations placed on him by both the public and his own inner circle. In February 1996, after a lengthy trial, the jury found Snoop Dogg and his bodyguard not guilty of murder, ruling that they had acted in self-defense. The verdict was a relief for Snoop and his team, but the experience left an indelible mark on him. The trial had exposed the dangers and contradictions of the life Snoop had lived, and it forced him to confront the reality that he could no longer straddle the line between the streets and the studio. The acquittal allowed Snoop to continue his career, but it also set him on a path of reinvention, one that would see him distance himself from the violent imagery that had defined much of his early work. The aftermath of the trial marked a turning point in Snoop Dogg's career. While he was able to move past the legal troubles, the experience changed him. No longer content to be seen as merely a gangsta rapper, Snoop began to explore different facets of his personality and artistry. He became more involved in his community, using his platform to speak out on issues affecting young black men. The trial also led Snoop to reassess his relationships and his role in the rap game, eventually leading him to seek new creative directions and collaborations that would help him remain relevant in an ever-changing industry. But the road ahead was not without its challenges. Snoop's acquittal did not erase the controversy that had surrounded him, nor did it eliminate the scrutiny that would continue to follow him throughout his career. As he embarked on the next phase of his journey, Snoop would have to navigate a landscape filled with new opportunities and new obstacles, all while staying true to the values that had guided him from the very beginning. After the intense scrutiny of his murder trial and the mixed reception of the Dogg Father, Snoop Dogg found himself at a crossroads. The rap game was evolving, and so was he. The persona of the gangsta rapper that had initially catapulted him to fame no longer fit the man he was becoming. Snoop knew that if he wanted to continue his career and expand his influence, he would need to reinvent himself. This reinvention began with a subtle shift in his music and public image, marking the start of a new chapter in his life. Snoop's first major move in this reinvention was to part ways with Death Row Records, the label that had been instrumental in his early success but had also become increasingly toxic due to its association with violence and corruption. In 1998, Snoop signed with No Limit Records, a label owned by Master P, another influential figure in hip-hop. This move surprised many, as No Limit was known for its distinctly Southern style, which was quite different from the West Coast sound that Snoop had popularized. However, Snoop saw this as an opportunity to break free from the gangsta rap mold and explore new musical territories. His first album under No Limit, The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, was released in 1998. The album featured a mix of the Southern bounce sound characteristic of No Limit and Snoop's signature laid-back flow. While it wasn't as critically acclaimed as his earlier work, the album was a commercial success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and eventually going double platinum. More importantly, it marked Snoop's willingness to adapt and change, a quality that would prove essential in maintaining his longevity in the industry. The next few years saw Snoop continue to experiment with his sound and image. He released 2 more albums with No Limit Top Dog, 1999, and The Last Meal, 2000, both of which showcased a more mature and introspective Snoop Dogg. These albums still featured the party anthems and street narratives that fans had come to expect. But they also included tracks that reflected Snoop's growing perspective on life, fame, and his place in the world. Songs like Be Please and Lay Low kept him relevant on the charts, while tracks like Wrong Idea and Life's a showed a more reflective side of the rapper. Snoop's evolution wasn't confined to his music. He began exploring opportunities outside of the rap world, diversifying his career in ways that few rappers had done before. His first foray into acting came in the mid-1990s with appearances in films like Murder with Sitter Was the Case, a short film based on the song of the same name, and Half Baked. By the early 2000s, Snoop had become a regular presence in Hollywood, starring in films like Training Day and Starsky and Hutch, as well as lending his voice to animated series like The Boondocks. His natural charisma and distinctive voice made him a popular choice for both comedic and dramatic roles. In addition to acting, Snoop ventured into the world of television. In 2007, he launched his own reality show, Snoop Dogg's Fatherhood, which offered viewers a glimpse into his life as a family man. The show was a hit, showcasing a different side of Snoop, one that was more relatable and down to earth. This new public persona helped broaden his appeal, attracting fans who might not have been drawn to his music alone. Snoop's foray into reality TV was just one example of how he was able to constantly reinvent himself, staying relevant in an industry that was quick to move on to the next big thing. But Snoop's most significant reinvention came in 2012 when he announced that he was adopting a new persona, Snoop Lion. This transformation was more than just a name change. It marked a complete shift in his music and message. Snoop had traveled to Jamaica and undergone a spiritual awakening, embracing the Rastafarian faith and the principles of peace, love, and unity. His first album as Snoop Lion, Reincarnated, was a reggae album that reflected his newfound beliefs. The album was a departure from the gangsta rap that had made him famous, focusing instead on themes of positivity and social justice. Reincarnated was met with mixed reviews, but it demonstrated Snoop's ability to evolve as an artist. The transformation into Snoop Lion was unexpected, but it showed that Snoop was not afraid to take risks and challenge expectations. While he would eventually return to his Snoop Dogg persona, the Snoop Lion era was a testament to his versatility and his willingness to explore new artistic avenues. Beyond his music and acting, Snoop Dogg became a savvy businessman. He capitalized on his brand by launching various ventures, including a clothing line, a cannabis brand called Leafs by Snoop, and even a cooking show with Martha Stewart, which became a cultural phenomenon in its own right. Snoop's partnership with Martha Stewart, an unlikely pairing that began in 2016, was a huge success, blending Snoop's laid-back, streetwise persona with Martha's prim and proper image. The show, Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party, was a hit, showcasing Snoop's humor and charm to a whole new audience. Snoop Dogg's business ventures and his willingness to embrace different facets of pop culture have kept him in the spotlight for over 2 decades. He has remained relevant not just because of his music, but because he has consistently found ways to connect with new audiences. Whether it's through his entrepreneurial endeavors, his social media presence, or his collaborations with artists across different genres, Snoop has shown that he is more than just a rapper. He is a cultural icon. As the new millennium progressed, Snoop Dogg's influence continued to grow. He became a mentor to younger artists, offering guidance and collaborating with the next generation of hip-hop stars. His willingness to adapt, reinvent, and stay true to his core values has made him one of the most enduring figures in hip-hop history. Snoop's journey from gangsta rapper to global icon is a testament to his resilience, creativity, and his ability to navigate the ever-changing landscape of the music industry. Yet, even as Snoop explored new paths, he never lost sight of where he came from. His music continued to reflect his roots, and he remained connected to the communities that had shaped him. Snoop's longevity in the industry is a rare achievement, one that few artists have managed to accomplish. His ability to stay relevant across multiple decades while continually evolving as an artist and entrepreneur speaks to his unique talent and vision. As the years have passed, Snoop Dogg has transcended his role as just a rapper to become a global cultural icon. His influence on hip-hop and popular culture is immeasurable, stretching far beyond the music that first brought him fame. Snoop's journey from the streets of Long Beach to the global stage is a testament to his enduring appeal and his ability to evolve with the times. Snoop's unique style and persona have played a crucial role in his lasting influence. From his signature drawl and laid-back flow to his distinct fashion sense, Snoop has always stood out in the crowded world of hip-hop. His early work with Dr. Dre and his groundbreaking debut album Doggy Style set the stage for a career that would span decades, but it was his ability to adapt and remain relevant that truly cemented his legacy. Throughout the years, Snoop has consistently pushed the boundaries of what it means to be a hip-hop artist. He's collaborated with artists across genres, from pop and R&B to reggae and EDM, bringing his unique flavor to every project. These collaborations have not only kept him in the public eye, but have also introduced his music to new audiences, ensuring that Snoop's influence extends far beyond the confines of hip-hop. One of the key elements of Snoop's legacy is his role as a mentor and elder statesman in the hip-hop community. As a pioneer of West Coast rap, Snoop has seen the genre evolve from its early days to the global phenomenon it is today. Along the way, he has offered guidance and support to younger artists, helping to shape the sound of modern hip-hop. Artists like Kendrick Lamar, YG, and Schoolboy Q have all cited Snoop as a major influence, and his collaborations with these younger stars have further solidified his status as a legend in the industry. But Snoop's influence isn't limited to music. Over the years, he has become a fixture in popular culture, appearing in movies, television shows, and commercials, and even launching his own media ventures. His foray into television, with shows like Snoop Dogg's Fatherhood and Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party, showcased his charisma and humor broadening his appeal beyond the music world. Snoop's ability to connect with people from all walks of life, combined with his undeniable charm, has made him a beloved figure in the entertainment industry. Snoop's cultural impact also extends to his advocacy and philanthropy. He has been a vocal supporter of various social causes, including the legalization of marijuana, criminal justice reform, and the empowerment of Black communities. His advocacy for cannabis, in particular, has been a defining aspect of his persona. Snoop has long been associated with marijuana culture, and his efforts to normalize and promote the use of cannabis have helped to change the public perception of the drug. His business ventures in the cannabis industry, including his brand Leafs by Snoop, have made him a prominent figure in the movement for legalization. In addition to his work in cannabis advocacy, Snoop has also been involved in numerous charitable efforts. He founded the Snoop Youth Football League, SYFL, in 2005, a nonprofit organization that provides opportunities for young people in underprivileged communities to participate in sports. The league has helped hundreds of kids develop their athletic skills, build confidence, and stay out of trouble. Snoop's commitment to giving back to his community is a core part of his legacy, demonstrating that he has never forgotten where he came from. Snoop's influence can also be seen in the way he has embraced and utilized social media. He was an early adopter of platforms like Twitter and Instagram, using them to connect with fans, share his thoughts, and promote his projects. His humorous and unfiltered posts have earned him millions of followers, further enhancing his status as a cultural icon. In an era where social media plays a significant role in shaping public perception, Snoop's savvy use of these platforms has kept him relevant and accessible to fans around the world. But perhaps the most enduring aspect of Snoop Dogg's legacy is his ability to remain authentic while continually evolving as an artist and public figure. Despite the many changes he has undergone over the years, from gangsta rapper to reggae artist, from TV star to entrepreneur, Snoop has always stayed true to himself. His authenticity is one of the reasons he has remained so beloved by fans and respected by his peers. Snoop's music, personality, and public image have always reflected who he is at his core, a laid-back, charismatic, and endlessly creative individual who has never been afraid to be himself. As Snoop Dogg continues to release new music, explore new business ventures, and expand his influence in various fields, his legacy as one of hip-hop's greatest icons remains secure. His impact on the genre is undeniable, and his contributions to popular culture are vast. Snoop's ability to transcend the boundaries of hip-hop while still being a key figure in its evolution sets him apart from many of his contemporaries. He is not just a rapper or a musician. He is a cultural phenomenon, a symbol of resilience, creativity, and the power of reinvention. As we look to the future, it's clear that Snoop Dogg's influence will continue to be felt for generations to come. Whether through his music, his entrepreneurial endeavors, or his cultural impact, Snoop has left an indelible mark on the world. And while the details of his legacy may continue to evolve, one thing is certain: Snoop Dogg will forever be remembered as one of the most important and influential figures in the history of hip-hop. Snoop Dogg's journey from the gritty streets of Long Beach to the glitz and glamour of global stardom is not just a story of musical success. It's also a tale of savvy entrepreneurship and strategic branding. Over the years, Snoop has expanded his influence far beyond the world of hip-hop, becoming a successful businessman with ventures in various industries. From cannabis to media, Snoop has consistently demonstrated a keen understanding of how to capitalize on his brand while staying true to his roots. One of Snoop's most significant business ventures is in the cannabis industry, a field that he has been closely associated with for decades. Snoop has long been an advocate for the legalization of marijuana, and his public persona has often included his open enjoyment of the drug. In 2015, Snoop launched his own cannabis brand, Leafs by Snoop, in partnership with Canopy Growth, a Canadian cannabis company. The brand offers a range of products, including flower, edibles, and concentrates, all of which reflect Snoop's personal taste and style. Leafs by Snoop was one of the first celebrity-endorsed cannabis brands, and its success helped pave the way for other artists and entrepreneurs to enter the industry. Snoop's involvement in the cannabis business goes beyond just branding. He has also invested in various cannabis-related companies through his venture capital firm, Casa Verde Capital. The firm focuses on businesses that support the cannabis industry, such as technology, financial services, and ancillary products. Snoop's investments have positioned him as a leading figure in the cannabis movement, both as an advocate and as a businessman. But Snoop's business acumen isn't limited to the cannabis industry. Over the years, he has diversified his portfolio with ventures in media, fashion, and technology. In 2015, Snoop launched Mary Jane, a digital media platform focused on cannabis culture. The platform offers news, original content, and lifestyle features, catering to the growing community of cannabis enthusiasts. Mary Jane has become a go-to source for cannabis-related content, further cementing Snoop's status as a leader in the industry. In addition to his media ventures, Snoop has also made a mark in the world of fashion. His clothing line, Snoop Dogg Clothing, launched in the early 2000s, offering streetwear that reflected his signature style. The line included everything from t-shirts and hoodies to accessories and footwear, all designed with Snoop's laid-back West Coast vibe in mind. While the brand has evolved over the years, it remains a popular choice among fans who want to emulate Snoop's iconic look. Snoop's entrepreneurial spirit also extends to the world of technology. In 2013, he co-founded the social media app Snoopify, which allows users to decorate their photos with Snoop-themed stickers and filters. The app became a viral hit, showcasing Snoop's ability to connect with fans in the digital age. He has also been involved in various tech investments, including early stakes in companies like Reddit and Robinhood, further demonstrating his forward-thinking approach to business. Beyond his business ventures, Snoop Dogg has remained committed to giving back to his community. His philanthropic efforts are as diverse as his business interests, reflecting his belief in using his platform to make a positive impact. One of Snoop's most significant contributions is the Snoop Youth Football League, SYFL, which he founded in 2005. The league provides opportunities for young people in underserved communities to participate in sports, offering them a safe and supportive environment to develop their skills and build confidence. The SYFL has helped hundreds of kids stay on the right path, teaching them valuable lessons about teamwork, discipline, and perseverance. Snoop's commitment to his community goes beyond sports. He has been involved in various charitable efforts over the years, including support for education initiatives, youth programs, and disaster relief efforts. His philanthropy is driven by a desire to give back to the communities that shaped him and to provide opportunities for the next generation to succeed. Whether through his music, his business ventures, or his charitable work, Snoop has always remained connected to his roots, never forgetting where he came from. As Snoop Dogg reflects on his career, it's clear that his journey has been one of growth and transformation. From his early days as a gangsta rapper to his current status as a global icon, Snoop has navigated the highs and lows of fame with grace and resilience. He has reinvented himself time and again, staying relevant in an industry that is constantly changing. But through it all, Snoop has remained true to himself, never losing sight of the values that have guided him throughout his life. Looking to the future, Snoop Dogg shows no signs of slowing down. He continues to release new music, collaborate with artists from different genres, and explore new business opportunities. His influence on hip-hop and popular culture is undeniable, and his legacy is secure. But Snoop is not content to rest on his laurels. He is always looking for new ways to innovate, to inspire, and to make a difference. Snoop's story is one of perseverance, creativity, and the power of reinvention. He has defied the odds, overcoming challenges that would have derailed lesser artists, and has emerged as one of the most enduring and influential figures in the history of hip-hop. As he continues to evolve, one thing remains clear. Snoop Dogg is more than just a rapper. He is a cultural icon whose impact will be felt for generations to come. In the end, Snoop Dogg's legacy is not just about his music or his business ventures. It's about the way he has used his platform to uplift others, to break down barriers, and to create a lasting impact on the world. Whether through his advocacy for cannabis legalization, his support for youth programs, or his role as a mentor to the next generation of artists, Snoop has shown that he is not just a product of his environment. He is a force for change. And as he looks ahead to the future, Snoop Dogg remains as committed as ever to staying true to himself and his values. He is a man who has seen it all, done it all, and yet still approaches life with the same sense of curiosity and passion that has driven him from the beginning. Snoop's story is far from over, and as he continues to write the next chapter, there's no doubt that he will continue to surprise, inspire, and entertain the world.